Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth, and I am presenting on music teacher retention, migration, and attrition within schools receiving Title I funding. This is my intended thesis proposal, which I will be starting over Christmas break. I became interested in music teacher migration and attrition within Title I schools at a very young age. Where I went to school, we had 5 band directors that would travel between the middle and high school from the years 1998 to 2005. The high school where I attended was in a small community, and it did receive Title I funding. Where I taught before coming to USC, I was the 5th general music teacher in 5 years at that school. My school had a demographic of 96% African Americans. 98% of the students received free or reduced lunch, and we did receive Title I funding. Also, the community where my school was located had a 12.9% unemployment rate, and that is as of May 2013. So that's why I am interested. I'm a product, both as a student and as a professional, of schools and school districts that experience very high music teacher attrition. And so I became interested to know if there were factors of Title I schools that might contribute to this. Some of my literature states that most music teachers leave the profession within their first 5 years of teaching. From personal experience, I know that this is not only music teachers that leave the profession so early, but also general education teachers. But also teachers that have taught longer than 5 years still consider leaving the profession. There's still those little doubts that worm their way in. The main reason why teachers leave the profession is personal reasons. And this is anywhere from there's too much responsibility, to I'm at school too late, to I didn't expect for there to be this much responsibility, and the list is just endless. And yes, there are a lot of obligations to being a teacher. You do put in some late days. You do sacrifice time with your family and friends. And for young teachers especially, who may be accustomed to a certain social lifestyle during their undergraduate program or during their pre-service development program, they may not like having their social life or having their social time take such a drastic cut and it not being the priority in their life anymore. The purpose of this study is to determine if the rates of music teacher attrition and migration are higher in schools that receive Title I funding than schools that do not. So my research question is, what factors do music teachers identify as contributing to their decision to leave schools that receive Title I funding? Whenever you engage in casual conversations with teachers and you inevitably start talking about schools where you previously taught or schools where they previously taught or a neighboring school, you may hear things like, oh, well, I came from a Title I school, or oh, I came from a school that had such and such demographic, or I came from a school that the majority of the students were this, or the majority of the community was this, or the socioeconomic status of the community was this. And I don't think that it's fair to base your experience on these assumptions. They may contribute to it, but they should not be the sole reason why you have a positive or negative experience. So I'm wondering if there is a deeper reason, more concrete reason, to why these teachers are choosing to leave Title I schools. My method for the presentation, for my proposal, is as follows. This study will be an explanatory mixed method study. I have constructed a survey that I plan to use. The link is included on this slide if you would like to copy and paste it or write it down and then go to it later. The quantitative part of my study will include the number of years that the participants have taught and if the subjects were satisfied with their experiences while teaching in a Title I school. Also the number of years taught and reasons why the subjects were satisfied or dissatisfied with their experiences. The qualitative part of this survey will focus on if the subjects plan on teaching in a school that receives Title I funding in the future, and also listing reasons why they were satisfied or dissatisfied with their experiences. There are a good many portion items on the survey that require written responses. So I plan on using coding software to code the written responses, and I also plan to employ the help of another music teacher with research experience. And the reason why I want to employ another music educator with research experience is because I don't know when I was teaching before starting my master's degree if I would have been able to help. I was not familiar with the research terminology. I was not familiar with the technology that is involved, and so that's why I want to employ a music educator with research experience, or who has had classes such as this one, or such as measurement and evaluation, so they have had practice and they have had some experience with the terminology and are familiar with it. The participants that I plan to use, I've divided into two groups. The first group will be the participants that I use to pilot test the survey. I plan on using a small school district. And the reason why I put Bamberg District 1 or Spartanburg District 3 on my slide as examples is because Bamberg District 1, which was a sister district to where I previously taught, is very small. There are only 4 schools in the district. Spartanburg District 3 is also a relatively small school district. There are about 6 elementary, middle, and high schools, or 6 total schools in that district. So I plan to pilot test those within that small school district. And then once I adjust the survey pending the results of the pilot, I will administer the survey to music educators in Greenville County School District. And the reason why I've picked Greenville County School District is because it's one of the largest school districts in the Southeast. There are 83 schools which employ over 100 music educators, and I want this survey to reach out to not only general music teachers, but also to band directors and choral directors and orchestral directors. There's also a few piano programs and guitar programs in Greenville County that I would like to reach out to those as well. I'm really excited to see the results of this survey. I think it could go in one of two ways. Either there is absolutely no difference between the rates of attrition and migration from Title I schools to schools that don't receive Title I funding, or I feel that the results will show some factors that Title I school districts and Title I schools can work on for teacher recruitment and teacher retention. I had a very positive experience teaching at a Title I school. It is unfortunate that so many others before me did not, but maybe the results of this survey can show where these schools and where these school districts need to focus their attention on, where they need to make the improvements so that they can recruit good teachers and so that they can keep these teachers and really provide good sources and good resources for their students. And this slide is these are my references for the presentation. I really enjoyed putting together this proposal, and I really enjoyed thinking my way through this and coming up with all of the steps involved, and I'm really looking forward to starting my research over Christmas break. Thank you for your time.